We have to do the podcast thing, like, you know, the girls go like,
speak on it. But something that I'm learning, it's a very present thing that I'm learning. For me, that's rest. And
ooh, I like that. Rest. Girl, you need a rest.
I really do.
This girl, I feel like I've been learning the same lessons for a few years now, but with different levels of intensity. I feel like I've been going around in cycles. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Thanks for me too. Like, something I realized is I'm so used to being the person that helps others that it's like weird for me to ask for help.
I'm gonna talk about that. Anytime I act like I'm the helper all the time, I start resenting the people that I help. You will start resenting them because it's almost like I can carry your burden but you can't carry mine. But that's because you believe that they couldn't carry yours. You know what I mean? Like, you made that assumption. Hello, welcome to the Live Your Essence podcast. I'm Sabrina Kumwa, your host, and I'm a speaker, singer, and software engineer. On this podcast, we talk about walking in our purpose, enjoying the journey of growth, and approaching life with a sense of curiosity and wonder. Live Your Essence is your space to partner with your God-given uniqueness to build a life you truly love. Now, let's dive into this episode. Today, I am joined by
Marietta A., your guest.
Marietta is living her essence as a software engineer, writer, and published photographer. She's also my best friend, sister, and travel partner, and I'm so happy to have her on today's episode. We're going to be talking about all the things we learned, almost all the things we learned, from turning 25. I'm not officially 25 yet, but I'm turning 25 in 2 weeks, and so I've learned a lot of things, and I'm going to be talking about how I want to bring that energy into my 25th year. And Marietta is how old again?
25 and 7 months.
Okay, girl, I thought you were 26.
Yeah, you said that earlier, and I was like, it's okay, I'll receive it. Like, I'm going to get there, but yeah.
But no.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay, girls. So my birthday's coming. Happy
birthday to her.
Happy birthday to me. So I have a song. I have a single. It's called Happy Birthday to Me. It's on Amazon, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. Just listen to it. Just put Happy Birthday to Me by Sabrina K. If it's your birthday, okay? Do that for me.
Even if it's not your birthday, it's a poppin' song.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you, girl.
Of course.
Marketing manager right here.
Gang, gang.
Okay, let's get into it. What do you think is the biggest thing you learned since turning 25?
There's so much. I think for me, it's like turning 25 and also last year and this year, one of the biggest lessons of last year in general for me was God is in control. I feel like it's some of the year.
No, we have to do the podcast thing. Like, you know, the girls go like, God is in control. Okay.
Yeah. And it's like one of those things that you say, like, I've said it, God is in control, God is in control. But one of the key ways in which I learned that, the most like vivid example, is for my 25th birthday, me and my parents went to Europe. We're in Canada for the layover, and we missed the connecting flight. We went to where we thought we were supposed to be at the gate, and then it was like time for our flight, and we're like, this is the gate, right? And another flight was burning. I was like, that's us, right?
Oh no, that's how you missed it?
It was right there, but it wasn't.
Oh, like, so you guys were just waiting at the wrong place?
Yes, it was the gate, but it's like they reassigned it like when we're in the air. So I didn't get the notification on my phone.
That's so annoying. That's so annoying.
So yeah, and then we went to the actual gate, and she was like, we called you 700 times.
I know.
Like, we heard everybody's name called and stuff in the airport. But, like, we did not hear our names once. One theory is that they completely butchered our last name naturally. That's why we didn't recognize it. But it was just like, what the heck is going on? And at first, we were all super bummed. And after maybe 20, 30 minutes or so for me, I started laughing. I was like, wait, we're actually fine. And that's probably the same look my parents had of like, what is wrong with you? And correct. That is the right reaction to have to that. This is unfortunate, and I just started laughing. But the reason is, on the way to the airport, this is like unnecessarily long story, but that's who I am as a person. On the way to the airport, we were driving by somewhere, and we were kind of discussing something that happened to one of my brothers that he was super bummed about, but then years later ended up being like such a big advantage for him. And it was like, we're just like, wow, you never really know what outcome something will have. Like, you think something is the end of the world, and you're like, wow, that is so sucky, really terrible. But then years later, like, wait, that's actually exactly what I needed to launch me into the next part of my journey.
Yeah. But how did you missing your flight teach you that God is in control is what I'm trying to get to.
Okay, yes. We don't know the reason for disappointments in our lives. We might not know until the other side of heaven.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's just like things happen for a reason. So even when you face a disappointment, it's like there might be something that comes after it that's absolutely beautiful to see. So we had that entire discussion before we ever even got to the airport.
I
So for me, to get to the airport and we missed our flight, I was like, I felt like I was prepared for it because we had literally talked about how disappointments don't have to end that way. That's something that stuck in the moment, but you don't know sometime afterwards it was exactly what you needed, and it launched you to like what you needed for the next chapter. You know, you might not see the reason why something's going wrong, but there's a purpose behind it, or like something good will come from it.
And this happened during your 25th birthday too, almost as if God was making a statement.
Legitimately,
like this is life. This is what happens.
Yes, because of that, I felt okay. I was prepared for this moment, and we were able to calmly say God is in control. Everything's fine in the car. So I'm like, well, now in this airport, after we missed our flight, we have already discussed this lesson. Let me apply it right now.
You had the right attitude.
Yeah.
You learned the lesson and you integrated it.
Yeah, I was a lot lighter. I was like, you know what? It sucks, but we don't know what good will come from this. Like, God is in control ultimately. And we ended up having an extra 24 hours in Canada. We got to explore Calgary, go on a tour there.
Wow.
I'd never been to Canada before, but now we got to do an extra day over there.
That's honestly beautiful. God is in control.
Yes.
He's always in control. That's a powerful lesson to learn as you're turning 25.
Yeah.
Was it the day of your birthday already?
No. It was like a week before.
But still,
yeah.
It's a powerful lesson. It's a lesson. It's a powerful lesson. So what I've been learning so far, I've been learning that I actually don't know anything.
Yeah, that part.
No, that's what I'm learning. Like, I'm learning that the rest of the world may see me as an adult. I might see myself as an adult.
Yeah.
But to God, I'm just a child.
Yeah.
And there's something so humbling about making a lot of mistakes early on in your life that just teaches you that maybe the goal isn't to avoid mistakes with all your strength. What if the goal... Girl, you give me podcast energy. Give me the snap.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, if it's my her. So it's like, what if the goal actually isn't to just avoid making as many mistakes as you can? What if the goal is just to try your best? Instead of trying to be perfect, try your best. Because I feel like one of the biggest lessons I'm learning is that you cannot be perfect. It's just, and I know people say this stuff. You can't attain perfection, but we still try. So if it's something that we can't even attain, why is that even our goal? Why can't we just be aware of the standard and then try our best instead of making that like a burden? You know what I mean? Because yeah, honestly, girl, that's the best. Like, I can talk about this the entire podcast episode because that's what I've been learning. I've just been learning that I've been putting a lot of pressure on myself to attain standards that I literally cannot without the help of God. And that's why God is giving us grace, right? And if you try to live your life as if grace doesn't exist, then you're making it harder for yourself. Why not optimize for grace? Optimize for grace. We're both software engineers, y'all. So why not optimize for grace? Why not start something knowing that grace is a crucial element of what's going to sustain you instead of trying to pretend that it doesn't exist and then you get burned out? I got burned out so many times last year. So many times in my life, honestly, especially like in high school, I was really burnt out. So I'm turning 25, and the lesson that I'm entering this new year with is that I can't do it on my own. I need the help of God for everything. I need His grace for everything. And I cannot be perfect. And there's no point in trying to be perfect when you can just try your best. Because when you try your best any given day will be different. And so you can end the day with a sense of achievement and accomplishment instead of feeling like a failure every day.
I wrote this down and I was like, ooh, this sounds kind of spicy. And I was like, don't have self-confidence. And it sounds counterintuitive to what everybody would say, but it's like, have self-worth. Like, you have worth inherently as a human. But for me, like, my confidence doesn't come from myself, it comes from God. Because every time I've tried having confidence in myself, like, I fail. Like, at some point. It's like, I can go study for some time, but it's like, oh, I actually can't do this. Like, and I just, like, fall down. So it's like, I'm learning to not say like, oh yes, I'm the best, like I can do this, like all that stuff. I see the point in that, and it can be helpful to have that sort of pump up in your belief system of yourself. But for me, it's almost like a balloon, like an inflated balloon that can pop at any moment. Like, it would just like slowly deflate. But when my confidence is like, okay, I can't do it, but I have someone within me and around me, beside me, behind me, all around me that can.
Amen.
So God then isn't this slowly deflating balloon of confidence. He's a steady rock of confidence.
I like that. It's so beautiful.
And it's
That's
like
beautiful.
Cute. Yeah. So it's
Do the That's really beautiful. God is your steady rock. He's not a balloon of confidence. He doesn't deflate. He remains constant. I think that's great. What is okay, so you've been 25 for a little while. What is something that you are working on, something that you actually want to improve, or like one regret that you have? Yeah, we're getting a little deep, vulnerable.
That's such a good question. I'm learning a lot of things. And honestly, a lot of like life lessons that I have, it's like, even the whole God is in control thing, it's like I learn it, but it's like I'm still learning it every single day. Like, I feel like a lot of lessons in my life aren't complete. It's like, all right, I got that, and the next thing comes, it's like, okay, we're getting better at learning this lesson.
You know, I feel like I've been learning the same lessons for a few years now, but with different levels of intensity. I feel like I've been going around in cycles. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I feel like I've been repeating the same chapter in different classes.
Interesting.
So it's like I'm switching grades, but it's the same lesson every grade.
That's hilarious. Well,
Yeah.
it's a lesson for the different chapter that you're in.
Well, it's like, you know how you do math in 9th grade, and then in 10th grade, it's like it builds upon what you.
That's true.
But imagine you fumble the 9th grade, and then you move to 10th grade, and then the material just keeps adding up. I feel like that's what's happening to me, low key. So it's like, why did you get it the first time?
That's real.
You know?
That's way too real.
Yeah.
I get that. But something that I'm learning, it's a very present thing that I'm learning. For me, that's rest. And
ooh, I like that. Rest. Girl, you need a rest.
I really do.
This girl is always on the go. So I'm happy you said that. Yeah.
It's funny, like, I was trying to think through and write down, it's like, what are some lessons I learned from being like 25? And my number one thing was protect your rest. And it's just like, for me, like, at least this weekend, like this period of time in my life, it's like the most present. Like, that's the big thing. So that's why it comes foremost to mind for me.
Protect your rest. Protect your rest. Or else your body's gonna make you rest.
It really will. It really will.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's part of that, like, I'm stubborn. It became so apparent to me because I was trying to respond to one of my friends about rest, and I was like, oh yeah, like, I started realizing that God will give me seasons of rest, and if I just give in to what he's telling me to do, then life is easier. And in that moment, I was like, wait, am I actually letting myself rest when he tells me to rest? And I was like, wait, no, I'm not doing that. I'm saying that I'm doing that, but I completely forgot to. This entire past week, he was like, hey, chill. And I was like, it's fine. It's fine.
Until it's not fine. Yeah, I get it.
A lot of times I feel like I fall sick, like I'm sick right now, and I feel like that's when he's like, hey, rest, because like you said, like, your body will tell you. So
it's like, if you don't rest, your body will make you rest.
It will
force you to rest.
Yes.
And if you want to be able to rest on your terms, might as well do it early.
Yep. See, like, it's fine.
It's not fine, girl. You better go and sleep.
I sleep.
No, you don't. You're always up. But how do I know you're always up?
Because you're up too.
That's the problem. Yeah.
But we both need to chill.
We both need to chill. We both need to go to sleep on time.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like, you would think that growing up would make you feel like more adult, but it just reminds you of just how much you don't know.
Yeah.
How much of a child you actually are.
Yes.
How clueless you are. Because when we're young, we think that we've figured out the world. We figured out how things work. And then you grow up and the world just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And you're like, oh my God, like, there's no way I can figure all of this out. Like, it's actually beautiful, like the night sky. It's like, there's no way I can figure all of this out.
Yeah.
I need God. Like, I need help. I need my people. I need my friends. I need every help. Like, I need all the help that I can get.
Yes.
And so I feel like I'm learning something that I'm growing into, or something I'm learning, is that I need help.
You got it.
And I'm learning that I need to accept help and I need to ask for help. Because I've just been trying to do so many things on my own, girl, and I can't. I need help. I need to rely on y'all.
Oh, I'm here to help.
Ow, my weave.
Sorry, I completely forgot.
You're fine. I was just being dramatic, honestly. It didn't hurt that much. So, do you feel like you're someone who easily asks for help?
Oh, no, not at all. I'm like chronically terrible at asking for help. I'm like drowning. Someone's like, do you need help? I'm like, it's fine.
Why do we feel so shamed to ask for help? Where is the embarrassment even coming from? Why do we struggle with that?
It's just like, you know,
because we need it.
Yeah. It's just like, it's this false idea that we get extra credit if we don't ask for help. And it's so wrong. Like, we almost feel like it's like, if I did it but I didn't ask for help, then I get better credit than if I did it but
because we think that real life is like school.
But even in school, like, if you ask for help, it's
no, I mean, like in a test, right? Because you can't ask for help in a test. So it's like we're living our lives thinking that this is like some school test. Meanwhile, it's a classroom. You're meant to ask questions.
Legit. It's a classroom.
It's a classroom.
Questions. Get your tutoring.
Another round of Wait, is that a bug?
Yeah. And I think for me too, like, something I realized is I'm so used to being the person that helps others that it's like weird for me to ask for help.
I'm gonna talk about that. Yeah,
because it's just like I just see myself as like this one role of like I'm the helper, so like nobody should help the helper because I'm the helper. So I don't know how to switch that off and be like you can both be the helper and the person that's being helped.
And the thing is, that's because we accepted those roles a little too. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's like we turned ourselves into a role instead of a person. Because people can ask for help and people can need help, but if you're the helper, you become a character in someone else's story. You're not in control of the narrative anymore. Like, you made yourself the helper. Anytime I act like I'm the helper all the time, I start resenting the people that I help. You will start resenting them because it's almost like I can carry your burden, but you can't carry mine. But that's because you believe that they couldn't carry yours. You know what I mean? Like, you made that assumption.
Like, they might want to carry it if you let them.
Yeah, if you tell them, if you show some inkling of vulnerability. But you define that because you're helping someone, you can't get help from them. Because, I don't know, because even God, like, requires us to do things. So if God even still wants us to help out, not saying he can't do it himself, but it's like, if God wants us to participate in his plans, who are we to feel like because we're helping someone, we can't get help back from them? Like, it's a cycle. You said something about nature the other day, which I really want you to share about how the trees, you know, like, we're all connected. And I feel like that ties into, you know, what I just said about helping. So share with the people.
Yes.
Share with the people. Share with the people.
So I was talking about how we breathe in oxygen and we breathe out carbon dioxide, and trees take in carbon dioxide and produce oxygen. So the very like design of nature, what we take is what they give, and what the plants take is what we give. Like, it goes around of like we're like providing for each other.
It's by design.
Yeah, designed that way.
It was designed that way.
So as people as well, like, we're designed to give and receive and like continuous cycles from each other. It's not just like, it doesn't stop with anyone. It's just flowing on continuously.
And you know, there's a little bit of pride also.
Yes.
If you feel like you are the only one helping and you can't ask for help, there's some sort of
like
pride.
You feel like you're the one. You're like, I can do this. Only I can do this.
Yeah.
Nobody can help me. I'm too important to be helped.
Meanwhile, you need it though.
Yeah. You're like, I'm like dying. I'm like, nobody can help me.
Yeah. That's not healthy. And I don't know why we do that to ourselves, but anyway, that's something I'm trying to leave behind.
That's good.
As much as I can. Because I need a lot of help. I just want to get better at like asking for it.
Like, I think you really clocked it. Like, the pride thing is really humility that helps you ask for help. Like, when you're home, like, I don't know anything. Please help me. The kind of way we exist in this world is we're always trying to pump up ourselves, be like, represent yourself well. I'm this, I'm that. Fake it till you make it. Like, this sort of like confident vibe. So we're always in that persona of I am everything. Look at me, you know. But it's hard to ask for help if you're being, you know, that person or that girl, whatever it is. And then you're like, you know, that's cool, but I am broken. I don't know what I'm doing, and I need some assistance. But it's,
and I feel like what you just said, I'm broken. Who wants to show their brokenness?
Exactly. It's
Because
not
when
very popular.
when you're vulnerable, you're literally vulnerable. Like, you can get taken advantage of. You can get made fun of. You're weak. So no one wants to display their weakness out of self-protection. But there's some people in your life that should be able to see your weakness. Because if you don't show them your weakness, then they actually can't be who they're meant to be in your life.
Yes.
You know, it's so good.
In regards to help, something that I've learned that has helped me too is that, like, it helps others when I ask for help.
What ways?
It's because it provides an opportunity to provide assistance. One thing that I go through, it's like, oh, I don't want to bother or burden someone by asking for help. But it's like, when someone asks me for help, I don't feel that they're bothering you. I feel happy. I'm like, oh, they just want to help. Like,
that's
you
a
have
good point.
assistance, and I feel good afterwards because I've done a good thing.
Yeah.
So, like, by asking somebody for help and letting them provide that for you, like, you're giving them good feelings. So then they get to feel good about themselves for being a good person by helping you.
Wow, you're acknowledging their value.
Yeah. And you let them do something out of their way. You're providing, like, positive feelings for them because they get to have the opportunity to help you, and they'll be like, wow, I did something good. Like, that's great. Like, it always it's free.
I never thought of that way. Free good vibes. You're sharing. Yeah.
And I think that's just, like, overall, like, I think that's part of the connectedness of it all. By asking for help, you're admitting that you're struggling, and somebody else could be struggling too, and they wouldn't know that. Helps people to not feel alone when you show your vulnerability. If you show, like, oh, I suck at this, like, this is a struggle, like, this is something that's wrong, they're like, oh my gosh, that was just me.
I don't know if you've seen it on TikTok, but there's a new trend where people are sharing their failures online.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's like, I saw a few girls will go, oh, I'm 24 and social media isn't real, and this is what I'm learning. No, this is some of the stuff I struggle with. And then when you keep sliding in the carousel, like, it's different posts of, like, different things that they struggle with. And one of them was like, yeah, I hate my parents. No, I have problems with my parents or my family, and it keeps going, and it's like a lot of oversharing. But there's something, I mean, I know it's oversharing. I don't know if I would do that in that exact same way. Let me be honest. But I guess we're kind of oversharing right now. Maybe I'll do it on YouTube. But it's like, yeah.
When there's a microphone in the mic.
Yeah, when there's a microphone. Maybe not a post, but a microphone, because it flows better for me that way. But the girl was like, she was just sharing her L's for real. Like, she was sharing her L's on social media, and a lot of people commented feeling so seen.
Yes,
because we've made it into a thing where people are just successful on social media, they're perfect or whatever. And so there's something beautiful about people recognizing each other's, like, L's, their L's. And for me personally, that ties into actually one of my things that I'm learning as I'm turning 25 is the power of your failures, the power of your L's. Because you know how Mark Zuckerberg, I think one of the statements that he's known for is move fast and break things. At first, when I was younger and I heard that, I'm like, why would you want to move fast and break things? Literally, why would you want to do that? You're meant to live an orderly, organized life.
You were the queen. You were the queen when you were young.
Yeah, I was the queen when I was young, okay? I was really...
Do not run.
Do not run like that.
They walk down the hallway.
I was that person, Loki, a little bit. We're not gonna shame old Sabrina. Okay. I'm very protective of my younger sister. I was amazing, but I was Loki the queen. But so I was very much like, in my mind, I couldn't conceive why a world-class leader would say move fast and break things. Because I'm like, in my head, I'm like, why would you want to break things? Because if you break things, you broke it. Like, you're wasting money, you're wasting resources. But now, I finally understand that. And the reason you have to move fast and break things is because you are accelerating your experience. If you take too long to gain experience, that's all you have. But the more you do stuff, the more you try things, the more you fail and you start over. You're starting from experience. You're not completely starting from scratch. You know what I mean? And so I feel like very successful people are people who are okay with failure. And they don't even see failure as failure per se. They see it as, I just gained experience at something. I tried something, it didn't work out, I'm moving on with my experience. And I was risk averse most of my life. Which, actually, yes and no. In some ways I was, in some ways I wasn't. But as I'm turning 25, I'm changing the way that I think about failure. I want to do things and I want to move fast and break things for real. Like, I just want to move fast, break things, get my experience, keep it pushing, keep it going.
But that's good.
Well,
Because you learn more from experience. Like,
Yeah.
you learn from failure
yeah.
more than a lot of things. The faster you fail, the faster you learn. Ow!
Did that hurt?
I'm being dramatic.
Okay. Girl, girl, that did not hurt that hard. That was not that hard. We're gonna close this podcast soon. But all in all, turning 25 is just teaching me to be more humble.
That's it. That's a big word for me, is like surrender. I mean, that's a whole
Yes.
topic that-
Yes. Yeah, no, let's talk about it. Let's talk about surrender a little bit. Because that's a big word for me this year, too. What do you think it means to surrender?
Oh, I hadn't even thought of a definition. But
Mm-hmm.
it's like letting go. That's what it is. Surrender, like letting go, letting yourself be taken over.
Mm-hmm.
And then the context of this, like surrender to God, is what I context of. So I was listening to this podcast that teaches about the Bible, and it was talking about this guy that was possessed by demons. It's the book Mark, and how the demons recognize, like all the demons in the Bible recognize Jesus' power. They were like, "You are Jesus, Son of the living God. What have you to do with us?" So knowing who Jesus is and acknowledging that he is Son of the living God is not enough to save you, because even the demons believe that Jesus was real and was the Son of the living God. So it's not just like knowledge of Jesus is God. It's the surrender that makes the difference between just knowing. Even the demons know that he's powerful. But the difference for us is that we submit ourselves under God's power.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm learning that in submitting, there is peace. Submission, in surrender, there is peace. And the more I surrender to God, the more that he's able to create something beautiful out of my life and out of everything that's going on. But it takes humility to surrender.
That's beautiful. Beautiful. Coming to him as a child. That's ultimately what it is. To me, it's more like I'm holding on to something so tightly, and then surrender is letting it go. Because when you surrender, like, where do people surrender? People surrender in like the war zone. It means you're holding a weapon. You're holding what you think is going to get you victory.
Wow.
If you surrender, it means that you're acknowledging that whatever I have in my hands, the little tools, the little knife I have,
Wow.
right? The little gun, whatever,
Yeah.
it can't do anything.
Yeah.
It's like, put your weapons down. You put your weapons down and then surrender.
So good.
So it's like, okay, God, you got me.
Put your weapons down.
Put your weapons down.
All these other things that we think will fight our battles for us. All these other things that we're saying, like this, like success will get me what I want. All these other things in life, it's like these are the weapons I fight with for fulfillment and for a good life. These are not effective.
And I feel like before you surrender, like, you have to be pushed or moved to surrender. Because I believe that a lot of the things I was holding on to were effective until I realized that no matter how much I try, I can still disappoint people. I realized that no matter how much I work, I can still fail. No matter how much effort I put into something, it doesn't matter what talents I have, the intelligence that I have, the wisdom that I have. If God is not with me, it's probably gonna fail.
At some point.
At some point. I just feel like it's honestly the grace of God that is allowing me to do anything. The surrender is a posture where you remember that, and you honor that, and you walk by that, and you live by that. Purr.
Live by that.
You live by that. I think this is a nice place to close the conversation. How do you feel about today?
It was good.
It was good.
That's a good.
Yeah,
That, you know,
I enjoyed it.
it was fun.
I hope you guys enjoyed it too.
I hope so.
It's getting a little late, so we're gonna head back inside. But this was a fun talk, and we're probably gonna be doing more of these. So thank you so much for listening to the Live Your Essence podcast. We hope that you learned something today about, the things that we're learning about turning 25 or being 25. And I hope that it helps you in your journey as you're growing, as you're turning into your beautiful self, as you're becoming, so to speak. And thank you so much, Marietta, for being here.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And y'all, make sure to drop down the comments below the little nuggets that you learned that resonated with you, and even things that you're learning. Just whatever age you are, just things you're learning in life, because we're always going to be. Life's a classroom, right?
Yeah, life's a classroom. We're always learning. Life's a classroom where you go and you like this video. And if it's on a podcast, you share. If you're listening to this on your favorite podcast app, Life is a Classroom, where you share the podcast.
You got a gold star for sharing.
Yeah. A+. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Bye, you guys.
Bye.